we're just getting ready to light the charcoal. We're gonna try a recipe today that apparently is viral on TikTok. So we're gonna see if we can make it work in a Dutch oven. So stick around, let's get this charcoal going. Let me show you what we're cooking. So, as you can imagine, given my age, I'm not one that spends a lot of time on TikTok, but I do have kids and a camera lady who do pull recipes off of TikTok from time to time, and this one sounded like it might be a pretty good one for camp, and apparently it's pretty popular on TikTok. So we're going to try today chicken cobbler, sort of like chicken and dumplings. It's kind of a hodgepodge of things, but it sounds awesome, and I think it's going to make a fantastic camp meal if we can successfully convert it from an oven recipe to our Dutch oven recipe. So what are we going to use today? First ingredient is chicken. We've just got 4 cups of chopped chicken. We've got a bag of frozen mixed vegetables, Red Lobster cheddar biscuits. So if those are in there, you know it's going to be good. We've also got milk. I've pre-made our chicken stock and I've added a little bit of Maggi seasoning into that. We've got a cream of mushroom soup. Cream of chicken soup. Thank you, camera lady. A little butter and some chopped up parsley to go on at the end to give it some color and pizzazz. So while the charcoal is starting, let's get the Dutch oven ready. And we are going to use a liner in the Dutch oven today just for convenience of cleaning up. So let's get everything warmed up and ready to go, and we'll start the cook. Okay, I'm not sure if it's warmed up yet, but the butter is not going to care if it takes a bit. So 1 stick of butter goes into the oven. Butter's melted, so the first step, we take our chicken. As you can see, our table is not perfectly level, so we put the chicken in. We're going to stir that around because I want to get that butter spread out if I can. All right, maybe that'll hold some in plate. Okay, we're just going to sprinkle the frozen vegetables around. So this is almost like a pot pie. It's a cobbler. It's a chicken and dumplings. Kind of got something for everybody here. All right, next step is we have to mix up the biscuits. In here we're just mixing 2 cups of milk with the Red Lobster Cheddar Bay biscuit mix. And if you all have any favorite camping Dutch oven recipes or anything that you'd like to share, we'd love to hear from you. So give us a comment below with the recipe or a link to your channel if you have it on YouTube. We'd love to see that. We're going to try to mix this up, get it smooth, try to get the lumps out. So once we started stirring it with the spatula, we went ahead and got a whisk. We're going to try to get this mixed up. Don't want any lumps and dry chunks in there. All right, now we just pour this as evenly as we can over top. And as you can see, we're not exactly level, so we might have a lot of biscuit on one side. And the last thing we need to do is mix the chicken soup with the chicken stock and Maggi seasoning, which is something we added to the recipe on TikTok because we like the fuller flavor that Maggi gives to these kinds of casseroles. And on and into the casserole goes the chicken. We're not going to stir this at all, but we're going to try to get it mixed around as best we can. So let's get the lid on, get this cooking. Recipe says 45 minutes. We'll start checking it in about 30, rotating every 15 minutes or so. All right, there we go. We've gone the 45 minutes, and definitely there's some stuff that's looking nice and done, but we also have a little more liquid in it than I was hoping for, which is what we were concerned about. So what we've done is simply taken the lid off, put it on the stand, set the Dutch oven on the lid, try to see if we can't get a little evaporation here before we cut into it. 15 minutes is up. We've tried to cook off as much moisture as we could. As we tried to convert this recipe from TikTok to the Dutch oven, we wondered about the moisture. So we're going to take this off. Total cooking time has been an hour. We're going to let it rest for a couple minutes, and then we are going to dig in and see how we did. It is the moment of truth. This is sat and cooled down a little bit, hopefully set up. We're going to see how it is. It doesn't look near as wet as I thought. It looks pretty darn good. So we're going to pretty it up with a little parsley garnish. See how it tastes. So consensus is we successfully converted this recipe from a home oven uncovered to the Dutch oven for camp, and we think this would make a great recipe for a family at camp. We did modify the recipe slightly in order to make it more Dutch oven friendly. We cut down the amount of chicken stock that it said to use. Originally, recipe called for 2 cups. We used 1 cup. And the other thing we did to modify the recipe is we added a teaspoon of Maggi seasoning to the chicken stock when we made it. We like to add that Maggi seasoning to these casseroles, particularly when it's sort of all chickeny like this one, in order to amp up the flavors a little bit, balance it out, enhance it, kind of broaden it, if you will. But other than that, we didn't modify the recipe in any way, and we think it turned out great. So if you're at camp, give this one a try. We think you'll like it for the family. As always, if you like this kind of content, please take a moment to share it with your like-minded friends. Give us a thumbs up. Hit that sub button in the lower right-hand corner. And as always, take care, and we'll see you outdoors.